Hello and welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to show you how to kill void gooms in 4 different ways. So yeah, let's get into it. In this chest I've got a bunch of items to help you kill these enderman bosses, and I'll show you how each one of them works. So now that we're in the end, we're going to spawn our mini bosses. So yeah, we're going to do the common thing, put on our necromancer armor, whatever you got. Summon our mobs. I've got 4 right now. And yeah. Now let's take a look at what items we've got here. We've got a pigment sword, a gloomlock grimoire, heroic soul whip, endstone sword, and a wand of atonement. I'll start with the most basic strategy, and it's the easiest one to pull off. We've got the wand of atonement. And for this, you're just using a wand of atonement and a scylla for healing. This works best with full final destination and a worn helmet if you have that. But with that, let's spawn the boss and I'll show you how it works. So now that we've got the boss spawned, I'll show you what we're doing. We're gonna go and use the Hyperion and the Scylla. Or the Hyperion and the Wand of Atonement. And yeah, it's basically all you gotta do. It's really not that hard. Using a baby Eddie or an edrag doesn't really matter. It's all easy. You just go in and you just hit it. Use your YouTuber every once in a while. And yeah, that's basically how it works. There's really nothing that hard to it. You always want to make sure you've got your orb down, because these bosses do take a long time. A longer time, so. But the orb is always nice. You always use a lot of mana in this. So yeah, it's just a basic strategy. Not really that advanced. So always have your Wand of Atonement active. It's easy. You just got the healing. I say it's easy, but there's like 50,000 people who can't do this boss. But it's easy! Get better! Nons. But yeah. Just use the hype and use the Wand of Atonement. Nothing much to it. For this next strategy, we're going to be using a pigment sword and a soul whip. That's not a pigment sword, that's a pigment sword. We're going to be using a pigment sword and a soul whip. Now the reason is this ability of the pigment sword is it gives 300 defense. So with that, we can switch out a few of our pieces for Necron, so that we can do more damage, and that's what the pigment sword is good for. So I'll show you what happens in the boss. And for the pigment sword, what you want to do, place down your overflux, and you just want to go in. And once you go in, you use the pigment sword, and you should be taking a lot less damage. So all you need to do is just Hyperion every once in a while, and you're good. And whenever it's in its phases, just use the soul whip, because that just helps gain your mana back. Yeah, this boss is pretty easy. These strategies start using a lot more mana, so just be on the lookout for that. Get some items that just help with your mana, such as the pocket espresso machine. Yeah. Just use the pigment sword every time you go in to fight it, and you should be good. Make sure you use your Hyperion too, just because, you know, you gotta use it. But yeah, this is like the same strategy, but you don't really use the wand anymore. The pigment sword is just a lot better for this boss, because you can swap out pieces for Necron. Instead of having to use these defense pieces, you can start using these damage pieces, which help a lot with your damage. That's why a lot of people use the pigment sword. So now for this next boss, what we're going to be using instead is the endstone sword. We're still going to be using the soul whip, but now what we want to do is we want to put on all our damage pieces. So we're going full damage. You can use full Necron instead of using the Tux chestplate. Although the Tux chestplate is just a lot better for intelligence, but it's really needed in this setup. So yeah, I'll show you how it works once I spawn the boss. So here's a cool little tip with a soul whip. You can actually use the soul whip to kill mobs by doing that, because usually it does 100k, but you can instead switch that by sword swapping. So anyone who didn't know, you could sword swap to your atomsplit just to kill them and do long range. So no more poking into the into these guys' faces and stabbing them one by one, you'd start doing them far away. So yeah, that's nice. It's a good tip. Only getting here from the Ched channel. Oh, that sounded lame. I'm just gonna go kill the boss. Yo, who the frick? Where's... Hey, yo! Frickin' rude. Anyways, for this strategy, we're gonna switch out that. And, well, and now I just completely failed the strategy. Okay. Okay, for this strategy, what we want to do, use the soul up. We need the mana. We, like, absolutely need it. But for this, use the soul up, and we go in. Use the atomsplit ability, and then use the endstone sword. And while it's in its phases, you recover your mana. And this is just... a lot of people do it. Although there's a lot of downsides to this. Which is, if you fail, and the mobs block you, then that means you don't have any mana. And you just die, so yeah, that's one of the downsides. So you gotta kill the thing. You gotta get the thing down in 5 seconds. Because if it's not in 5 seconds, you lose. You lose, and you lose the game, and you die. Terrible, miserable death. And yeah, that's why you gotta be doing at least like 2.5 to 3 mil damage. I'd say is the minimum. You can help use the weird tuba to help you with your problems of damage. The thing with this strategy is that it's a lot more risky to use the instant sword. So right now I'm going to show you a less risky way that involves not using or needing the soul whip. So this next strategy is one of my personal favorites, and that's using the Gloomlock Grimoire. And this thing, it gives you overflow mana, which is really important, and I'll show you why. But this reduces a lot of the risk of using the Unstone Sword. You don't have to panic for all your mana, and it's just a lot more chill. So yeah, I'll show you how it works once I spawn the boss. I've said that like 5 times now. So for this time, I'm going to be using the same setup as before, and we're going to be using the Gloomlock Grimoire. So let's show you how it works. Spawn the boss, we use our Gloomlock, and now we Hyperion, Weird Tuba, Instant Sword, and then we can use the atomsplit ability after we Instant Sword because of that overflow mana, which is why it's really good, and it's just reduced less of the risk and less of the panic. Make sure whenever you use your Instant Sword ability, you usually want to have around 300 to 500 mana, because that's basically all you need. And yeah, once it's on the 3rd phase, or at 150 mil, use the Gloomlock again, and you should be good. You can kind of see why I like the strategy more. It's just a lot more easy. You don't have to panic using the soul whip. And yeah, but the thing is, this can only be done if you're doing a lot of damage, around 3 mil. And yeah, this is a strategy that I mainly use, and it's why I love it so much. Because you don't have to panic with the soul whip. It's nice and calm, chill bosses. Now the thing about the Gloomlock Grimoire is that it's not only for the Instant Sword. It can be also used with the Pigment Sword and combination of it, instead of using the soul whip. I honestly think the Gloomlock Grimoire is better than the soul whip, but it's basically just on preference. It's whatever you want to do. All these items have their own pros and cons to the strategies. There's a lot of different debates going on. But yeah, use whatever strategy you want to use. This is just a little guide of your options. So yeah, my personal favorite strategy is actually using the Endstone Sword and the Gloomlock Grimoire, because I just feel like it's a lot more consistent and it's fast. So yeah, choose what you want to choose. And that's gonna be all for today's video. If you did enjoy, then go do some other stuff. I don't know, go outside. Don't be like me. And I hope you enjoyed. It's also my birthday today, November 17th. That's when I'm recording it. I don't know when this will be out. Whenever I feel like editing this. So if you're seeing this right now, well, thanks. I appreciate you. Wish me a happy birthday, you know? Happy late birthday, whatever day this is. And you'll be the only one who said that to me. Just kidding, many other people did. But you'll be special in my heart. Okay, that's gonna be all for today's video. I'll stop being cringe, and bye.